Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spirit Switchboard. I am your host, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. If you are interested in checking out all of the shows that UPRN has to offer, please head to uprntalkradio.com. We have new shows happening all of the time. You can find out more about our hosts. Word is that we are getting a new website, a zhuzhed up one. There might be like a merch store and all kinds of exciting things happening there. All of the shows immediately go into our archives as well too. So there's thousands of shows for you to tap into and take advantage of. And there is something for everyone here at UPRN. Hello, James. Thank you for being here. Hi, Mel. We will do a pitch once I get Corine out here. We will do a pitch for you guys. So just hang tight for a second. I hope everybody is doing well. Last week we had a replay with Paul Wilde. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to talk about it now because once I have Corine out, I know that we are going to go sideways with conversation in all kinds of different directions. Next week, I have a start of a 3-part series, and my mom, my sister, and my niece are going to be participating in this 3-part series. So it's going to be a family affair. My mom is quite nervous, so I hope that you guys come into the chat and make my mom feel welcome. She is coming on next week on the show. So let me just bring this up. It's going to be exciting. I don't know if you guys remember, we had Azria Beckham on, and she talks about alien DNA. And so she's going to be tapping into the alien DNA for the different generations within our family structure. And it's going to be pretty exciting. It's going to be very exciting. I hope. Well, I guess we're going to find out. We will find out next week. Hello, Heidi Gold, Victoria, Ashley Paranormal. Thank you so much for being here. Randy and Sandy, thank you so much for being our BC representatives and hanging out in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Did I get everyone? So without further ado, please welcome paranormal investigator, psychic medium, Corine Carey.
Hello.
Let's see if we can get this. There we go.
Hello.
Hello again.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I was thinking about this all day. I was like, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that we met and we connected and there's very few people that we can have on our cell phone when we're like, hey, can we talk about snacks, boys, and paranormal stuff, and maybe not in that order?
Absolutely. I know. I remember our first meeting in Thunder Bay, and it was just like, and yes, this is a connection. Yes.
Yeah. It's such a weird world, like the paranormal world and doing mediumship and all of it is so weird. So when you get someone at the same level that understands, and you can just pick up where you leave off too, right? You don't have to have that constant connection. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And hello, everyone in the chat. I see a few people. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah. Teresa Loft, thank you for being here. Contessa Martins, hello. Heidi is from Boulder, Colorado. I don't know if you saw. I'll bring it up for you to see too.
Oh, there we go. Cool. Aw. Hi, Randy.
Julie Dow, hello. Thank you for being here.
I'm sure people are going to have questions too. This is exciting.
Mm-hmm. So the last time we had, when I had you on last time, we had your sister Leanne with you as well too, and Kelly. So Kelly Ireland was on as well.
Yeah, the three of us were there, and I think that was after the Paracon, but before, I can't remember. We were doing something. We've been very busy.
You have. So for people who are just meeting you for the first time, can you give them a little bit of your background? Hello, Carrie. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. So like you said, my name's Corine, and Leanne and Kelly are my sister and good friend. And we have a company called Beyond the Haunting Investigations. And we were kind of doing this since we were kids, kind of off the side of our desk kind of thing. And, it wasn't until we were a little bit older that we actually started doing this seriously. Like, I kept this quiet for many, many, many years. And when we started doing some investigations, we happened upon some producers, and we pitched this concept for a gold rush documentary, like the Haunted Gold Rush. And they loved it. And so they picked us up, and we're like, really? So we stopped doing our investigations that we were doing, and we kind of pivoted into the TV kind of stream. And so we did our Haunted Gold Rush documentary. We won an incredible BC Tourism and Innovation or Hospitality Innovation Award for that. And then we got greenlit for the series History's Most Haunted. So we were on the road for that, and we were on a bit of a hiatus. And then we've just come back, and we have a Halloween special that we filmed in Ireland coming out this October, which we're really excited about. I was talking with Leanne last night, and we were going over some pictures and stuff. It was kind of exciting to see what they're going to put together for you guys. So yeah, that's kind of where we've been.
And I mean, your background is psychology, history, high school teacher as well too. So keeping, that there's so much to try to find balance in with mediumship and the difference between mediumship and paranormal investigations and sessions, and then teaching. Yeah. Like, it's so many different worlds.
Oh my gosh. And I remember starting my career as a teacher and being like, okay, well, I'm not going to tell anybody about this. So I'll just teach. And then in psychology, it was like, oh, the scientific method. Oh, okay. Well, I was playing the biggest skeptic at school because I was teaching, well, it can't exist. Like ESP and telepathy and, clairvoyance and all that, the sixth sense is in the textbook, but it's like, okay, but there's like zero proof. And I'm like, So I would be the one going, okay, well, let's replicate that, have the ghost come back and do it exactly the same. So I played these two really weird worlds. And then at the same time, I was learning more about the psychology and how the brain worked and how, studies on consciousness was working. And so it was kind of like me learning about all the psychology as I was teaching it, specifically on the brain and consciousness and all of these kind of things. Right. And then being the skeptic teaching it. So when I was like, hey, everybody, I'm Mike dropping out to go film a TV show as a paranormal ghost hunter medium. See ya. They were like, what? Yeah. So that was rather entertaining. It was fascinating. But it's hard, like you said, because I was trying to keep my world separate. And then they were merging like at the same time without me really knowing, because I was teaching it and learning for myself. So it was a weird. And then the history, I love history. So that's just kind of fell into it.
I'll pull this up for you to see. Randy is showing Corine. You look amazing too. You didn't get the screen yet when we said hi before. We love both of you. Thanks for what you bring to this world. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you guys. You guys were at the Paracon last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was incredible.
Awesome. So thank you guys.
Yeah. And Heidi is sharing loved Haunted Gold Rush. I was hooked. So was my mom. My mom was a big fan.
That one was actually quite funny. I was in this summer, just a few weeks ago. I had to go up northern BC, and I went to Barkerville for a night. And I was staying in the hotel that we stayed at filming at the St. George. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing like a Beyond the Haunting backpack, and people are staring at me. They're like, we know you. I'm like, no, you know. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, people can't still be knowing. And so, yeah, sure enough, they're like, oh, yeah, we won your backpack. We won your prize drop. And we're here because of the show. I'm like, that's incredible. So we walked around and kind of, yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's humbling.
It really is. And it's shocking to me. Like, I know I probably shouldn't say this, but I was grocery shopping, super fun. And this was probably like around Christmas last year. And I was just like, when you're grocery shopping, you just want snacks.
I just always want snacks.
Exactly. So I'm loading up, like there's chips, there's cookies, there's whatever. And this lady comes around the corner, and she squealed, and she's like, oh my God, a celebrity. And I turned around with my bag of chips, and I'm like, where? So it is totally humbling and super weird, but you know, I love it and appreciate everyone that watches it. And yeah, the three of us are constantly like, wow, this is like nothing we ever thought. And it's just, we're so appreciative and so grateful for the experiences that we've had and listening to the people who share their stories with us afterwards, because that's the most meaningful, like to hear that other people are having similar things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what will be interesting, or maybe it's already happened for your high school students who are also intuitive, being able to go, okay.
Yeah. It's been interesting. Because I was so not open to it before we did any of the filming of the shows and things. But I would always be talking to kids because kids would start to come forward and be, I don't know, I guess they were just drawn to my energy. And they were like, I feel like I can talk to you about this. And I'm like, well, you know, like there are things that we just don't understand. And so I was walking them through it. And then since this has happened, and then since the shows have come out, I've had students come up to me and been like, I need your help. I know that you can do this. I've seen your show. And so now, but I have to walk that fine balance of being the teacher and also giving advice. So to me, it's always about you got to really do your own research. And like, I believe that it's real and you need to work on how you can develop your own intuition and protect yourself. And, you know, here's some recommended reading and, you know, but yeah, it's interesting how many kids are coming forward more and more. Like I started teaching 20 plus years ago and I would ask like, how many people believe in the paranormal? You know, around Halloween when you do the Paranormal Psych Fund. And there'd be one or two kids in the class put their hand up and, you know, they laugh at the person and, oh yeah. Now I think there's one kid that doesn't believe. Like it's definitely a shift in the last 20 years. I'm not sure what the cause about that is, but it's interesting.
I did a poll today.
Wow.
I did a poll this morning. So I have, please tell me that right here. Okay. So I have Kerrilynn's Off the Porch. So I have the channel on Facebook. So I put a poll up this morning and the question was, what type of paranormal or spiritual experience intrigues you the most? And so communicating with spirits, haunted locations, paranormal research, or paranormal tourism. Those were the options that I gave everyone. And
great option.
By a landslide, communicating with spirits. 115 people voted for that. Wow. 14 people voted for haunted locations. 10 voted paranormal research or investigative paranormal research. And only 2 people voted for paranormal tourism.
That's interesting.
The mediumship always seems to trump.
Yeah.
Always trumps.
Always. And it's fascinating too, because I don't know. I feel like we've talked about this many times together even. And it's like, I feel like everybody can tap into their own intuition, but it's almost like so many people are scared to. And so when they can, and when they want to talk to the spirits and they want to communicate with those who have passed and they come to people who can, it's almost like they're fascinated and then they want to learn. I don't know if you've experienced that too. Like they come see and they're like, well, how do you do it? How does it work? How can we do it? So yeah, that's interesting.
And intuition and mediumship are 2 separate things.
Completely. And I feel like if you open up your intuition, like everybody has their own intuition, but mediumship, I feel like you could maybe train it. You know what I mean? Like,
build the muscle.
Yeah. And they're always like, well, how do I do that? And I'm like, well, it is a process. So yeah, let's get started.
And all of it is, even the intuition is, have you found like with the mediumship, and shifting, which we can get into all of it because I'll end up being Squirrel and Red Bull and we'll go back and forth in all of it, I'm sure. But moving or shifting from doing investigations, because you started with investigations and then shifted into doing sessions. Thank you, Leanne. So, and it's different mediumship.
Yes. And for so long, you're absolutely right. And I think in my brain, and just to guess it Contessa, her point, I think is more afraid of who will come through. Yeah, very possible for sure. I get that sometimes too from people who are just worried about who might come through and they don't want to talk to certain people.
Right.
And we don't have control of who comes through. They just come through. But yeah, to your point, I remember growing up, and I don't know if this is similar to you, but when I grew up, it was either you are a ghost kind of hunter, like a paranormal investigator,
Right.
or you're a psychic medium. And so I don't know, in my brain, it was always like, well, you have to be an investigator or you're a psychic. And I don't know why in my own head I couldn't connect that it could work for both.
Right.
And so, you're watching the shows, like they're out paranormal investigating, and then you're watching like the Long Island medium shows, and you're watching like the two separate things. And I was like, okay, well, what if we connected them? Like, what if I use my mediumship and psychic abilities in an investigation? And that to me kind of just like, that's when we're like, let's start the company. Holy cow. Wow. Like that makes total sense. And so it took me a while to wrap my head around that, because they're very different.
They are.
And in practice, you can have a huge group go out with you on an investigation, and everyone's energy is there as well. And for me, like, that's why there's only 3 of us and a camera operator. We don't want a lot of people there, because we're using our mediumship and psychic abilities in the investigation to help figure out paranormal activity. So yeah, very different for sure.
Hello, Deborah. Thank you so much for being here. So folks, so Astrolight Paranormal, so Victoria, she has also been a guest on Spirit Switchboard, and you can find that archive as well too. I'm going to be seeing her again at Smith's Falls. I'm going to be doing an event at the Station Theater, and we're going to do an investigation afterwards, which will be fun. And Deborah Hackett-Jones is a medical intuitive and medium as well too, who's also been a guest a number of times on the show. So please check her out as well too. And I was the opposite. I was sessions and then moving into investigations. And the investigations were out of interest, just personal interest and downtime, like just for me to be in a different zone than the weight of responsibility with the session. So even though investigations can be emotionally heavy, it still felt like non-thinking.
Yeah.
Like a little more relaxed, even though it can be intense than the weight of obligation and responsibilities with sessions.
Oh, I know. And it's funny too, because I know that for so many people that you talk to about going out to the investigations, it is emotionally draining. And people will say, yeah, that was a long night, or like, yeah, I feel like I'm drained. And then I'm like, yeah, but it's not as much sometimes as when you're doing a reading or you're connecting with people who have passed, because it's just as emotional, but it's in a different capacity. So it's same as you. We started at different ends, but it's super fascinating how they kind of connect.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Hi, Mort. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Deborah. Oh,
Deborah's
thank you.
I love you guys on your show.
Thank you. That's awesome.
And I pushed against using the term psychic for a very, very long time. Very long time. Pushed against using the term or that term. And I think I believe on the website it still says like I think it says intuitive and something else. It doesn't even say psychic, I think, on the website, but other places it does. And because I think I got over 50 and I just didn't care. So I think is what happened. But I didn't want to sound like a cult leader. So trying to navigate what the language I wanted to use.
Oh my gosh. It's like listening to myself. I was always like, it's not really about the title. Like, I was like, I could come up with anything. I don't know why that for a long time I was hung up on the title for sure and trying to figure out what we were. I was trying to think about and articulate it like years ago. And I was like, well, maybe I'm an intuitive empath. Maybe I'm like a this, maybe and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm just me, and I'll do me. And then from there, I'm like, all right, I guess I am a psychic medium, like more medium, I believe. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard when you're trying to put a label on what we do.
And I actually, okay, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Brain's in a couple of different directions.
Oh, I could go any direction. I get it.
Because the label, like, our intention matters, right? Mm-hmm. And our intention, I think, can influence or hurt, harm, help our reputation. Yes. And the name that we use. And so the name that we use clumps us in a category or a group. Yeah. And if that is not at that same level,
Yeah.
Do we want our toe in there?
Exactly. And I struggled with that for so many years. Like, I wouldn't even admit I had abilities, for crying out loud. So it took me a long time. And you're right. And I think every single person obviously has a different path, but like for us, all three of us on our show and in our team, we are aligned with helping spirit, helping people, and not like to be your true authentic self, right? And if you think of it, like we've said this before, if you go in and you know there's activity in a home, we have to be respectful of the people who are living there, because we're not going to be there at the end of the day, right? And we don't want to, like, you know, make things more uncomfortable or whatever. But there's also, if the ghost or a spirit is there, if they were a person once, like ghosts were people too. So we have to be respectful of that. So, you know, we take that very seriously when we go in, and we don't want to go in and be like, oh, you know, it's this evil entity, have a good night, you know. So like we really want to get to the bottom of it and help these people and the spirits. And if we can do that, that's where our true north alignment is. Like, that's what we're in this for.
And it's complicated. Like, even historical places are complicated because there's history attached to land and the people that have moved through it, other investigators. Like, there's just layers of energy attached to it, and we have an opportunity to tap into sometimes more than one layer of it, but not always.
Yeah, and you can go back. I'm sure you've experienced the same thing, where you go back to the same location multiple times and you're getting different information every time you go. So it's like, you know, I thought I had a pretty good grasp on this one location, but we went in a couple times and I'm like, this is like not making sense. And the people that had kind of owned the property were like, well, we know nothing about that. I'm like, well, then I'm not sure. We're going to have to do some research. And sure enough, you know, you find out in some random diary file that the heritage site has that was something. And you're like, oh my gosh, like that's a whole new layer we didn't even know about.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll just call it some hellos here. Jackie White, thank you for being here. Jackie is a brilliant animal communicator. So I'm just like dropping that in there. Hello. Terry, thank you so much for being here. Michelle Wilfong, thank you so much for being here. Hello from the Pacific Northwest, Oregon. Michelle has a TikTok called My Haunted Apartment. So haunted apartment, she posts her videos and stuff on TikTok about her haunted apartment.
I will be checking that out. That sounds fun.
Right.
Well, welcome. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
It's hard, like when we tap in and we get that sliver. I always say it's like a dog with a bone. You know you're on the right track, and when you've delivered the message, it's just done. You don't need to go anywhere. It's not like John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt in your head anymore. It's just like, and you know that you're done. And when someone looks at you and goes, yeah, no. Yeah. You're like, but I know I'm on the right track because I just got it. So it needs to play out at some point.
Exactly. You know, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no. Please go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, it's true. Like when you're doing, like for me, I was doing this reading just a few months ago, and I remember that it was just so intense and so fast. It was just like, wow, like what is happening? And I'm getting all these messages, and then it's just kind of like, and it's done.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then I was like, that just really wrapped up quite perfect with a little bow. Where others have been like, they linger with you, but in an investigation, it's like, it doesn't quite end the same. Do you find that?
Yeah.
Like it's not such a perfect It's, well, there's this and this, but I'm not sure what this is. We got to do some more research and maybe come back. Like it's yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Hello, Justin and Mel. That's where I was coming to you now. So hello, Justin. Justin is here with Mel. So Mel Willis.
Nice. Hello.
Lucky Paranormal from Thunder Bay, and also host of the Lake Superior Paracon, which Beyond the Haunting ladies will be there, and myself will be there this year. So October 16th, you can head to lakesuperiorparacon.com. Mel, if you want to drop the web address in the comments, please do.
Yeah,
we were there last year, and again, we'll be there again this year.
Yeah, all three of us are coming out this year, so that'll be exciting. You guys got to meet Kelly.
Yes.
She didn't meet last year, so that'll be good.
Yeah, it will be fun.
And I think we're all doing an investigation, I believe, too. Was it the Thunder Bay Museum again?
At the Thunder Bay Museum.
Fantastic. Yeah. That'll be fun.
Hello, Sue. That's a weird museum. It is the energy is wild on every floor. It was weird. And they had us on different floors. What was interesting was we were getting names or a name on our floor that Snipe was getting in the basement.
Oh, wow. So, I remember that. Yeah.
I feel it will be interesting because I feel spirits remember us.
Yep.
So will those spirits remember us? And if we're on different floors this year,
oh yeah,
does that switch it up?
Very fascinating. I know we were on the I think we were on the top floor, Leanne and I, last year, and I remember the first thing we do always in an investigation is if we're leading a tour, we have people and we say, okay, we want to use you as the first tool. So, you don't pull out we don't pull out the equipment right away. We want to go in and feel out a space and see if we're picking up a certain feeling in a certain area of a location. And that's where we tend to start. If all three of us are picking up something in one area, we kind of start there and see where we can go. So I remember I was explaining this, and we sent people out to, go find the areas that they felt that something might be. And it was fascinating because every single group, all 4 groups, went to the exact same area to start the investigation. And I was that's on point. That's where the 3 of us would have started too. So I was very excited to see people actually trying to tune in and connect with that and find a spot. So we'll see how it goes this year. And
it's true though, people don't maybe want to recognize it's their intuition, but your intuition is a muscle, so use it, right? Yeah. And I think it encourages people and inspires people to dig in more when they see that other people are having that same sort of hit, right?
Absolutely. And it's funny how certain energies of a location will connect with certain people in the group. I don't know if when you're leading a tour, there was in every tour there was at least 1 or 2 people that just really connected with that energy, and we'd give them the gear and they would kind of lead it, and it was just fascinating to see what was coming through. Yeah.
I have a new table tipping table. So it's taller, it's bigger. We've tried it out. Actually, Mel and Gail were here, and we connected with Snipe, so we used it. So they're tall, so it worked well for them, and nobody got backaches, and we didn't either. So I think it will be good. And we have a different plan on what we can. Oh, thank you, Mel. I love this table. I love the table. And I think too, it's always a learning curve, right? That's the very first time that I had presented at a Paracon. So I know how, so I know how I will approach it a little bit different this year as well. But
I know Leanne and I were we were hearing people come up from your floor, and they're like, she's table tipping. We're like, can we run down? Oh, we have to leave this.
We should do that at the hotel.
Totally, we should.
Yeah, just us.
We're in. Let's do it in the fall.
We did, Justin. We had the table, and I think that having Mel made a big difference in the room as well too, helping getting it going. So I was very appreciative of the support. It was very well run, and I was very grateful for the support and the people that came. It was great, and it will be even more fun this year, right? Seeing everybody, and it will be bigger. So
yeah, we're very excited to come back. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. And Justin, oh my goodness, I cannot. Jason Kenzie is going to be. Yeah, Jason Kenzie will be. There's all kinds of. It's a fabulous lineup of people that are going to be there, but I am quite excited about the Bigfoot stuff.
Oh my gosh, the Bigfoot stuff. It's funny because me, Leanne, and Kelly are totally into all things paranormal, but you only see the ghost, medium, connecting, investigation on the show. And oh my gosh, the Bigfoot.
Yes.
currently right now, I'm in like the middle of BC, in the middle of Sasquatch territory. And, you're hearing stories all the time. We've had experiences with this stuff. We've had experiences with UFOs. Leanne has been working with, is it Chris Rutowski?
Yes.
Canadian government, like UFO report for that, like I think it was earlier this year. And she's all into that. And like, we're so fascinated because it's like, we do our thing, which is, we love our thing. That's why we do it. But we literally are like, oh, but we're always asking the network, can we do like a UFO episode or Bigfoot episode? And they're like, well, that's not the show. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Maybe one day.
But it's still part and parcel of it. Chris is going to be at the Paracon again this year as well cool. too, and he was there last year. So that's exciting. But once you start with ghosts, it moves, and it's all part and parcel. Like it just, you can't separate any of it.
No, it's what I think. There's a question in here. I think it was Justin. What's your favorite cryptid and why? Well, I'm gonna say Bigfoot just because that's kind of our thing right now, and like we've had some interesting, like Washington State, Oregon for sure. I know when I was down there a couple summers ago, there was things all over the place. Like somebody put up signs in the parks. It was awesome. But we've had experiences where we've actually had like footprints that have, I think I shared those photos with you.
Yeah, you did.
They actually like burnt the lawn. Like it was like they walked across this property across the lawn and destroyed, like burnt the ground, and it was there for like 6 to 8 weeks, which is very unusual. And it walked like it ended right into someone's kitchen. And I'm like, how, like, what? But it happened 3 times on this property. So, there's so many cool things that we're like, let's go find out. So if we're ever running around the forest, it's probably why.
Yeah. There was a report behind my stepmom and dad's property that there was this very tall, hairy bipedal creature dragging the hind quarter of a moose.
Oh, wow. That's big.
Can I go? Well,
yeah.
He's like, you want to go out there and get eaten by some angry Sasquatch? And I went, as long as there's a camera rolling. Like, as long as somebody gets it on film.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Oh, I know. And like, it's so funny because like, there's so many stories from certain areas that we've heard about in the province where, there's branches that are snapped 15 feet in the air down in like a perfect circle. It's like, who can snap that in the middle of a trail that nobody's in? Like, it's just, there's so many strange things. Like, I know we should all just go on a camping adventure.
I would love that.
And like Bigfoot hunt somewhere. It'll be fun.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so that would be mine.
With just like cameras attached to our chest even.
Yeah, exactly. I know I tried to set up some trail cams, but I just found some people walking that looked very concerned that I had a trail cam. So maybe next time it'll be Bigfoot, but we'll see.
Yeah, I have one trail cam in my kit, but I haven't been out.
Yeah.
I haven't been out anywhere to even give it a try. Carrie is saying I had no idea so many people have had encounters until I clued in this year and found channels showing clips and stories of encounters. This may be why everyone is so open to talk about it the last 20 years.
You know what? It's true. Like, and even now, I would never have seen that on TV. Like, growing up, I don't think there was ever a Bigfoot show. It was like a cartoon or something. And now there's like shows like trying to find them and research them and, sample hair evidence and all these things. And it's like, wow, like something's going on. If this many people are seeing these things, it's like, I feel like it's kind of where the paranormal was 20, 30 years ago. It's like, no, that's not true. No. It wasn't in the public genre. And now it is. And now the new kind of thing is maybe the cryptids, maybe the Bigfoot, maybe the UFOs, and all this is coming more into the forefront.
Yeah, and the paranormal blasted in 20 years ago and was very strong, but it was 20 some odd years ago when it really kicked in.
Yeah.
And the mediumship, I think, was kind of on the fringe of it as well too, like having a medium as part of an investigative group was not as popular, and it is more so. It is more so now.
Today, for sure, yeah.
I just I'm kind of a lone wolf in that, like sure, I'll pop in and hang out with you guys. Sure, I'll pop in and hang out with you guys, and a lot on my own. And I find, do you, like, when you were investigating prior to the show, what were you most pulled to? Like the historical places? Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was, I think part of the reason that I wanted to do that was the history, for sure, because I'm a history major. I love history. It's my thing. But at the same time, it was more I figured in a haunted historic location, it would be easier to capture evidence to prove to my family and friends that there was something else going on. So I think my journey was like, I knew what I was experiencing, but I didn't tell anybody. You know, my whole story was like, my parents had me tested for things, and it was, as a kid, I just learned to be quiet. So as I grew older, it was like, well, if I go to these historical, really cool places, there's got to be something here that I can capture either on an EVP or on a camera, and like say, hey, I'm seeing so-and-so, or I'm seeing this in the corner, and something maps in, maybe they'll believe me. And I think that's kind of how I started.
Yes, I had a weird thing like that too, though. In my head, I wanted to investigate with police officers, correctional officers, because they would be more believable, or I would be believable if I was with them and they were believing in me. Yeah. And then I had I don't need all that.
Yeah, right.
You know, in the end, it just is what it is, and we're gonna float around and do what I need to do, and
totally.
And you get to that place.
I was actually at one point, funny you mentioned the like police and detectives and stuff, because I was asked by a couple people to kind of help with kind of some cases, and in my head, after I kind of helped them with what I could, which turned out to be crazily pretty accurate, and I was like, what if they arrest me? Like, what if they don't believe me? What if they think I did it? And then I had this like total spiral meltdown. I'm like, I'm done. No.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. It was wild.
So as a single mom, right? Then it was when this happened for me about 17 years ago, it was like, I don't want those bad people to know that I can know their stuff.
And there's that too.
So there was that. I don't want them. And then, depending on what it was, it's a hit and miss when I tap in to do those things. And I really have to be in an emotionally okay space, because the stuff that we see and feel, I don't know, maybe you can share how you're receiving that information. It sticks with you for a long time, what you're seeing. And you don't just like, okay, so done, and walk away from those things. So I really am careful how much I get involved in. Not that I don't want to, but I feel, you know, we do know where our niche is, and for some people that's very much what they are meant to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, for me that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. But yeah, you're right. And I feel like when I've only done it kind of early on in my trying to figure out who I'm trying to, like, who I was kind of being this kind of, before we had the show, before we formed the company, I was kind of just like word of mouth helping a couple of people that kind of had connections in cases with the police. And and it was weird because I would, like, what you would see, like, you're right, you get into this emotional state, and for me, I see everything kind of like in my left peripheral. Like, I've always said, it's kind of like an old school movie reel that just flashes images while I'm trying to interpret what I'm seeing, hearing what I'm hearing, and then like experiencing everything else in the room around me. And the images are hard. Like, sometimes they're very hard to see, and you know, you have to be very cognizant of how you relay that to someone, and you know, how they're going to receive it, or, you know, you can't just be completely blunt, because these are horrific crimes, some of them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how do you tell someone this is what you're seeing? So I struggled with that part of it. But then, you know, it's the end game is to help and to bring someone to justice and to solve something. And so, you know, I did it, but it was, like you said, it stayed with you. And then you felt that, and you just like, what else could I have done? What else could I have done? And I just don't like hanging on to that energy for that long.
Exactly. I know a few of the cases that I've been involved in. It wasn't just I'm going to tap in and I'm going to sit for 3 hours and write out everything that I'm getting. It was like a period of days over a week, 2 weeks of continuous like pulling back little slivers. And then when I you say with it, we're only allowed to know so much too. Like there's that aspect of it. And not always do we get to have closure, because something else unfortunately may need to happen before the closure can happen. That's too.
Yeah. And like sometimes it can be like the one that I remember vividly was like it went on for months. And so I was like, should I hang on to this to keep a connection in case they call me back? Like it was a lot. I completely understand.
Yeah. And not wanting my name attached to it either.
Exactly.
Here you go.
And that's what I got. Bye-bye. Exactly. Mm-hmm. But also I'm hoping I'm helping you. Yeah. It's
such a weird place. Carrie, I'm going to bring this up. Carrie, I now figured out what I saw when I was 10 on our farm. It was a rake skinwalker, broad daylight.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And embedded in your memory forever. Like that's not ever going to go away, seeing that.
Nope.
Jen Blue, thank you so much for being here. Jen, Paranormal State was the first one I watched, I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. That was like one of the early ones. I remember that too, because that was where Katrina Weidman, I think, got her start.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of her, yeah.
Chip Coffey was on that as well too.
Yes, right.
Mm-hmm. Frequently. Tanya Martins, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Do you find, is there a location that you like going back to?
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, I think there's always been, there's been a draw to a couple places where we grew up. And like there's a couple museums where we grew up that I've always kind of been like, I think I've been there like 6 times. And it's like an old train station museum. And I don't know what it is. There's just something about it. Like I know that I found out that it had been moved a couple times to this, like, you know how the original location, it wasn't there. They've packed it up and moved it a few places. And, you know, I've done some I've taken kids there on school field trips, and, you know, just I've been picking things up then. And then, you know, we worked on a school video because they had this cool exhibit that they wanted to incorporate. So I would go with the kids, and then I'd get all my like, ooh, let's come back later. And so we bring the team back later. And yeah, right. So that one, I don't know. It was neat to go back to. It's almost like, you know, when it's like your first investigations where it was so memorable, impactful. You just want to go back and make that connection and remember when you first had those experiences.
And it's layered, because then it becomes like the methodology kind of kicks in, right? And how can we understand more, learn more when you keep going back to that same location. And Mel is brilliant. So Mel helped out with my place that I really love going back to, and I take people twice a year to this location and have been there frequently. And I kept picking up information that the volunteers were like, no, don't know what you're talking about. But Mel actually did the research, and she found the information that backed up what I was receiving intuitively. And that's where you still have to go, you know, and leave it. I got it. So we're dropping it here and going to move on. And Mel was able to find validation for that. So I was really grateful that she was able to do that. But
like you bring up a good point. Like that's one of the big things that I think is really important for any investigator is, and any medium, if you're going into an investigation, I think it's a really, really, really important to not know a lot of the history about a place if you can. Because we want our validation too. So like, don't tell us anything before. Let's just go in and see what happens. But then at the end, researching what we get, because we know what we're seeing. Yeah. Like we know what we're getting. Like that's not in question. It's, well, how is it connected? And so I think that follow-up piece in doing the research is so important, so that we find out really what's going on there and who it is and how can we help them.
Yeah. And that's a big part is in asking, is there a piece of your story that hasn't been told yet? And do you want that piece told?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So I was going to say, because in every location, like the museum that we went back to many, many times, you know, it's been around for, over 100 and some odd years, and how many people used to live in the place, and how many people have come through on the trains, and how many people, like, it could be the imprinting of so many people that you just, you can't just go in and be like, well, it's Fred again. There's going to be other energies, because this is how energy works. So it's always fascinating to find out who comes through, what comes through. Sometimes nothing comes through. Like, there are nights we've gone down there and it's been so quiet, we just sit around and laugh and joke that they're all asleep, or they've all taken the last train out of town. So, So
let's talk about that too then. Yeah. Because last night on Beneath the Hollow Moon, Laura Lee and I did a paranormal roast. We both have had a pretty intense week, so it was like, let's do a paranormal roast tonight.
Fun.
And it was fun. It was super fun. But there's always like, so we played this little clip. I don't remember who was the creator of it, but the different types of paranormal investigators. So the one who thinks everything is a ghost and everything is haunted, one who's like super serious, one who's like inwardly very scared, but we're going to pretend like we're very brave. Like there's the snack person.
Yep. Oh, I found this in my pocket. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I plan the snacks first, right? So the tummy growler. So there's the tummy growler as well too, right? So explain to people. So there was a couple of questions about this that I wanted to get to. What would be surprising for people to know about an investigation that they don't see? So from the television ones, so what they've seen on television, a surprising fact that you could share that people do not recognize or know.
There's a lot. So we usually, it's so hard to capture the entire investigation in 45 minutes, because you have to tell the whole story of like everything and all the witnesses and everybody. So when we go, like, we're never there for like, it makes it look like we're investigating for like 3 minutes. We're there for quite a long time, and we do thoroughly investigate all the locations. We bring out tons of equipment. We have sometimes we bring our big command center and we have the whole thing wired, and like, you don't see that. Like, I think a couple episodes, I think in Montreal, you might have seen us pull that out, but like we have it, we do that. And we're constantly like trying to figure out what's going on. Like, how long we're there is a big one. And then there are times we're there and it'll happen. Like, we'll walk in and we're like, well, we're not really getting anything. And we're like, uh-oh. And then, 10 minutes later, it's like, oh, and then it's just rapid fire, and you'll have like 20 minutes of solid activity, and then it goes quiet for the rest of the night.
Right.
So it's hard when it's like, I understand TV shows, you're trying to tell a story, they're trying to explain stuff, and I get that. But when you're going in there, like, there are times nothing happens. And so we've picked another location because we're like, well, there's nothing really correlating to this location tonight. Like,
and this is it, having a plan A, B, and C, because, maybe they decided to like light a cigarette, roll over and go, not tonight.
Exactly. I'm out.
They're just not wanting to tonight.
And Leanne said it best. She's like, for whatever reason, like, we have no idea why, but like, maybe it's our energy that night. Maybe it's theirs. Maybe it's just not, like, it could be like the moon. Who knows what the reasoning is? But if it's not happening, it's not happening. We're not going to fake it. So it's like, well, where else can we go? Where else can we like try to connect with? And we always have backup locations ready just in case, because we don't necessarily know what's going to happen. And that's amazing. And that's the reality of any investigator, even if you're not on TV. Like, if you had told me 20 years ago I was going to be on a TV show as a paranormal investigator and psychic medium, I would have laughed in your face. Like, okay, sure. Yeah, right. But now that I'm doing it, I'm like, you know what? We stick to our goals. We are being our authentic selves. We do our thing. They tell the story. The network does their thing. But we, at the end of the day, follow up with like everybody that we've investigated with. We still reach out to some of our first episodes of History's Most Haunted and connected with some of those people, with the witnesses, and making sure things are good. And Sam Beltrusis from the Salem episode and such. And that's just who we are. Like, we want to follow up and make sure that things are still good, and and things are happening,
and that comes back to intention and integrity and authenticity, for sure. And there's a piece of it. I had this conversation with a couple of people this week about empathy. Well, there's a bunch of this. Okay, here we go. So empathy and compassion.
Yes.
So we can be empathetic and have compassion and know how much to insert ourselves and to not insert ourselves, because sometimes they need to. And then there's the authenticity and performance versus performance.
Exactly. And I think for us, like the three of us, because we've done this way before a TV show, like we grew up doing this kind of stuff. So if one of us is like, nope, we're out for whatever reason, if it's not cool, the energy's not connecting, there's a bad vibe, it's just whatever the case might be. If someone's like, we're done, we're all out. Like no questions asked, we go. And, you know, there's a few times where I'm like, I'm not going in there. Sorry. For whatever reason, I don't feel like they don't want us there. I don't want to aggravate. This is not who we are. Like this energy is so strong. They do not want us entering, and I'm going to respect that. So we're going to stay out here. And, you know, they're like, okay, so they're like, done. And we just do, and we make it work. But
that's so brilliant though. And because there's family, and Kelly is family. She's chosen family, right? And you guys are all family. There's safety in allowing yourself to be vulnerable when you are opening up to tap in intuitively.
Oh, for sure. And like one prime example of that was, you know, when we started investigating more professionally, I would say, like later in our adult years, you know, we all have our own abilities. And so the way that I was getting my messages, I've always tended, I don't know about you, but they always joke with me, like they have these, she's got these signs you always know when she's starting to like connect. I'm like, really? So apparently I like bite my lip, I start twitching. I don't know. I apparently look like something else. So they're like, oh, here we go. I'm like, what? But then I get really quiet, and because I'm trying to interpret what I'm seeing and understand what's happening. So they know that when these symptoms start, I guess, that I get really quiet, and I would never share that growing up with anybody. So I always internalized what I was seeing. So it was very hard for me. And like you said about being vulnerable. Oh, Leanne's in the chat. It was, you know, trying to be like, Corine, like Kelly would be like, Corine, what's happening? I'm like, oh, right, I should tell you. And Leanne's like, we kind of need to know. I'm like, right. And it was having those people that you trust to open up to actually start to understand and articulate what you were seeing. And I would never have done that if we didn't have that family connection.
Yeah. So funny thing, Leanne, thank you for being here. So I'll put this up. And funny that we're talking about this right now. So Beyond the Haunting, hi Leanne. So hi Kerrilynn and Big Sister Corine. How fun to see you two together. Leanne tuning in here for a sec. Can't wait for all of us to be together in Thunder Bay. Corine does have signs. It's so funny because my kids know them, my sister, and the people that have watched me for a long time know them. And when I said I had jotted down notes because I need to for my squirrel brain, even though we're friends, and I knew that the conversation was going to flow. But one of the things that I wrote was your tell.
Yeah,
tell. Because I have a tell too. I bring my shoulder up, and it's like, okay, yeah, okay, here we go.
Here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And there's more, like when it's like wearing that person's spirit skin for me. So, I just start to feel things. But if I start rubbing my face, you know that I got facial hair. If I'm rubbing my nose, I got a smoker. Like it's just like there's specific things.
Well, apparently, I'm sure Leanne had to point out that she's saying hi to her big sister. Yes. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I do bite my lip. Oh, people are noticing. Interesting. I do bite my lip. Like it starts. Like I don't notice it until I see myself.
I have a scar there.
Yeah, you too. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, why am I sore?
Because I used to have to shove it down and not talk about it as well too. So it's on in the same side as you.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I bite my lip, and apparently I get kind of like twitchy. Like I'm trying to like what? I don't know. Leanne and Kelly see it. Apparently, it makes me sound like I'm insane, but that's okay because it's just my towel.
But because it's almost like remote viewing. Well, it is remote viewing too, right? But so I have to get oriented.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand.
That's hilarious. And I'm reading some of the comments like I bite my lip. Yeah. that I definitely do. And then the tell is breathing changes, which is interesting because, like I said earlier, I completely the same thing. I get quiet and I slow. Like I slow myself down because I'm rapid fire seeing things, but I like my physical body kind of slows. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm trying to like understand, and then they're like, Corine, like, what's happening? Right. And I'm like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah. And I think it changes if it's in a group setting, if it is on an investigation, if it's in a session, like it varies. Deb Morse, thank you so much for being here. Deb is a dear friend that I've known for a very long time, and she was very supportive when I was like coming out of the closet as well too. Like
Paranormal closet, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, coming out of the paranormal closet for sure. She was very supportive and continues to be supportive. So she is a medium and lawyer, former nurse. Like she's got this whole background as well too. So she is sharing my tell is my breathing changes. Gail is here. So the other half to Lucky Paranormal and our hosts for the Paracon. I don't know why that's not coming up for us. There we go.
Nice. Hi, Gail.
Thank you for being here. Yes, Jen, and you've been with me on investigations. I always have snacks packed for everybody. It's the mother part in me. Everybody got a snack. Everybody doing okay?
I think to be honest, I think I forget the food a lot of times. We're always just like, where's the coffee? It's like, hit me. We need our caffeine. It
makes my tummy feel gross.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At night, I find that I just need a lot of water. So if I keep drinking the water, then it does what it needs.
Afterwards, once it's done, I come home and have a lot of water. But during the time, I'm like, I just need to stay awake and focus. Let's do this.
So do you find though, like not all locations do you have to be there super late at night in order for the stuff to happen, right?
No, yeah, and I feel like I don't know. I think because I love coffee. I drink so much of it. The students will tell you that. But I think for myself, and I think for Leanne for sure, we just drink coffee. And so when we go into a place, it also is my energy gets drained. I'm sure yours does too. And when you're investigating and you're using your mediumship, you get drained. And so I think just coffee is just my go-to to wake me up. So I think I've just become used to having like, well, let's go. I'm going to have a coffee if we're going in. So I don't know. That's my thing.
I think so. Okay. Contessa Martins, thank you so much for the reminder. James, thank you for the reminder. I appreciate both of you for reminding me. So we're just going to stop for a quick second and do the station IDs. Thank you so much. If you guys are just joining us, thank you for listening. You are listening to Spirit Switchboard. I'm your host, Kerrilynn and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. If you are liking what you are listening and what Spirit Switchboard has to offer, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. I would greatly appreciate that. I'm going to do a quick shout out to Michelle DeRoche, our network manager, who helps support us all so very much. We're very grateful to her, and to our fabulous owner, Joe Montaldo. So we are grateful to him as well too for providing this platform for all of us. Deb Morse, you are definitely my mutual support sister. Thank you. Justin is saying, should we bring the popcorn machine to the museum investigation? So I asked spirits that, and I know that Kimberly from Duluth, the ghost tours, Duluth ghost tours, she does the same thing too. She'll ask them like, what's their favorite pie or what's their favorite ice cream? Or did you have a favorite dessert? Like, so come together over food, right? Mm-hmm.
I know. It's like, you got to think about the questions that we're asking too during the investigations. Like how many investigators, especially in a popular group or a popular location rather, like how many teams have gone in and probably asked very similar, if not the exact same questions. So yeah, spicing it up with some fun ones. That's always.
Yeah. I always ask too, if they have a pet in spirit, what do we look like to them?
Well, that's good too.
Like just trying to, and you're right, thinking of different questions, because the ADHD kicks in and I don't want to do the same thing all the time. So right. I'm sure they don't either. I saw, Mish, There we go. I just wanted to bring this up. So Mish is tuning in from Australia.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh, Mel, that's pretty funny. Mel is sharing we were at a pub and asked what kind of wings they wanted.
That's genius. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. You know, I started doing so I do Dining with the Dead. I've done them for a very long time, but there's this new location I started doing the events out of. This is the one that I want you to come and check out.
Oh,
I think you guys, Leanne and Kelly, would love just everything in that whole little stretch, because the history is crazy, and it's a limestone building, so and it's right near the water, so it's got all of the hits, right, to make it intense. But I bring all the paranormal, everything I've got, all the paranormal equipment. I let everybody play, so they play for a while. We've had spirits shutting the light off. It's
cool.
Like at this location while we're doing things. Oh my gosh, now I forget where I was going. I'm so sorry. About asking what kind of wings they wanted. Oh yeah, so asking them about, like, are they happy with us doing, and do they want that interaction? And I think that other spirits that come with us stay, because I've repeated, certain questions, and that's where I was going. I wrote out like 2.5 pages of questions that are just random. Like, do they believe in aliens? Are they able to connect with aliens? Like, all these like super random, but I leave them on the tables because everybody's an armchair investigator when they're watching the TV. Why would they ask that question? How come they're not asking this question? Because they're seeing from their own belief system and perspectives, right?
Absolutely.
Or they get nervous. Some people get nervous about asking the questions and get very quiet. So I wrote out like 2.5 like random pages of questions to leave on the table for people.
That's smart. Oh, yeah. I need to come to fun places like that and spice up some questioning, I think. That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Justin is saying, I asked a child spirit for their fave dinosaur once.
Aw.
Aw, thank you, Sue. I love Dining with the Dead too. Deb is sharing, asking them these kinds of questions shows respect and love, not mere exploitation for the show, a genuine curiosity and respect. And it comes back to our intention and being like, when we talk about intention, it's how we see our role. And I've always saw my role as being of service.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we for sure are doing this to help, for sure. And I feel like we recently did our Ireland special, and it'll be out on TNE this fall and this October. And we were fortunate enough to be able to stay at this hotel that was just as old as the place we were investigating for the show. So I was like, this is amazing. And by the end of the time that we were there filming the show at night, we'd come back, or whenever we'd end filming during the day, we'd come back to this hotel, and the hotel itself had so many layers of history and so many things. And we were going around with staff, like the staff wanted to come with us. We were doing like after hours investigations. And it was like, there were people there, like spirits there that had been, killed. And there were spirits there that had like stories to tell. And there was like playful spirits that were like, they were smashing the floor beside us and setting off, like people were like, was that you? Like, what the hell was that? And I'm like, there's no way. And it was just, but it was fun questions. Like, are you still here? Like, what, are you jumping on the bed? And then all of a sudden, bam, bam, we're like, holy cow. So yeah, I think when you ask the different questions, it gets a little bit more fun for them to respond. I don't know if that's the thing. I don't know, but yeah.
Engaging.
That's the word. Yeah.
Yeah. It's engaging. Gail has a great question. Thoughts on crossing over spirits during an investigation?
That would be the goal. But we try, and I don't think we claim that we're like perfect at doing that, but we try to help them move on to wherever that might be.
If they want it.
If they want it, exactly. Because sometimes, they don't, and for whatever reason they're still there, and there's something left, or there's something still not resolved, or whatever they're there for. I think the goal would be to help if they wanted it, but I don't know how we would guarantee that happened. Like maybe like we've had times where, you know, there's been places we know that spirits have crossed because like you can feel the energy shift. The last kind of communication we got that was validated also on like the Ovilus with us was, you know, cleansed, crossed. Like when you get those kind of things, we're like, wow, like we felt it, and then that just was put forward. Like that's pretty compelling, you know. Like,
and the thing is, even if they're crossed, they can still come back if they choose to engage.
Exactly. So those are the moments where like, holy cow, like that was powerful. Yeah. Where other times we're like, you can go, like you don't have to stay here. And then it gets quiet. We're like, well, did they leave or did they go upstairs? So I'm not sure right now where they are, but yeah. So in that moment, we're like, well, they left. We're not sure if they're gone forever, but you know, I don't.
And every location is different because sometimes there's that bully spirit that is collecting the spirits and doesn't want to allow people that other spirits to talk or to go. Like it varies depending on the location and the history.
Absolutely. And those bully spirits, when they're there, like you get snippets from other spirits and you're like, they're there, but like they're not coming forward. And then there's like this, you know, exactly.
And it feels like hide and seek. Like you're watching them do this duck and dodge thing.
And you're just like, why are you not playing? Like, where are you? Exactly.
Do you feel that there's a time where it's not appropriate to share information that's discovered or that comes up?
Yep. We've had that. I wouldn't say a lot, but there have been times for sure. And, you know, even filming, sometimes we're like, we don't want that in the show. Like it's no. And they're like, oh yeah, no, that's a no. So there's things that you find out, you know, it's things along the lines of like, people are still alive or there's still ongoing things happening with like an event that can't be discussed. And, you know, you don't want that brought to the public's attention, or you don't want that to be out for the family that's still, you know, going through privacy things. And, you know, we've had places too where it's on our bucket list to get into this one location in BC. And it used to be a hospital, but there are still people who were patients there that are still alive. And out of respect, you know, you can't go in because they're still alive. And if anything were to come through, you know, there's two sides to it. You don't want people being upset for getting information and bringing it to you and they don't want to hear it. But there's also that it could help, you know. But so I don't know what I'm saying. It's kind of convoluted when you get stuff that you know you don't want that out there. So that's a private thing that you share with the client or you share with the owners or whoever it might be, but it doesn't go further than that. Yeah,
that's how the dining with the dead, like the public, go as well too. If there's things that feel super private, I'm pretty adamant about not making that everybody else's entertainment.
Exactly. And, you know, I've done readings in the past too, where there's a couple group readings and it was, you know, there's some stuff that came through that was pretty serious and like personal. And I'm like, this isn't the time to be sharing this with a random group of people. So I'm going to not. And I'm like, let's talk later or privately, but not right now. Like it's almost like you have to do your due diligence. Like you can't be sharing people's like family secrets because somebody told you from the other side, you know?
But there's no rule book of ethics. You know, everyone has to follow their own moral compass, and not everyone does that. Not everyone does that, unfortunately.
No. And I think.
Sorry.
Oh no, I'm just reading that. Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Medium spirit confidentiality. I've never heard it put that way, but yeah, there are things that. And I think you guys probably have all experienced it too. Like if anyone is connecting with the other side, there are things that, you know, are very sometimes hurtful, traumatic. Like there's things that are shown to us that I'm like, how do we even approach this? And so you have to be very, very empathetic and very, I am anyway. I'm very, I'm cautious of what I say in that moment because I know how emotionally upsetting it can be.
Yeah. Misha's asking, can you find out how long ago they passed? Like, are some ghosts 1,000 years old?
Interesting question. I've been asked this before. I see them in a different way. So like for me, it's almost like unless they tell me straight up, unless I get a year that I see, it's hard for me to do that. but it's based on what they're wearing. It's based on what they look like and how they present themselves to me. That's kind of how I can figure
Their
out
language.
Yeah, the language, like everything about them at that point is kind of like, I can kind of take a guess as to when they were around, if that makes sense. But it's funny too, like we've gone, like Leanne and I were fortunate enough to go to Egypt back in 2010. And, you know, we were walking through the Valley of the Queens. And I remember clear as day, it was hot. Like it was hot. I was as red as a cherry tomato. It was terrible. But we were walking through the Valley of the Queens, and they were saying, like our tour guide was saying, this is where, you know, all the females and their daughters would be buried if you were part of the royal family. And I said to Leanne, I'm like, then why is there a little boy following us? Like, why is there a little boy here? Like, to me, he looks like something out of a history textbook of what would have been from ancient Egypt. And Leanne's like, well, I feel like it's a cold breeze and we're in the middle of a desert. Like, this is not normal. And so I was like, this little boy is like, I can tell he died a long, long time ago. And so we ended up talking, we found an Egyptologist later on. And we were like, so could there have been any boys buried in this cemetery? Like, and they're like, well, yeah, actually, if a pharaoh's son or if a royal family's son died before the age of, like, I can't remember the exact number, but say 8, they could be buried alongside a female relative instead of the Valley of the Kings. And I was like, well, that explains a lot. And so, like, you would have, and he followed us right through the entire Valley of the Queens. And when we went to the Valley of the Kings, it was a totally different energy, and you could feel the older energies of that area. So I was like, wow, like, have they been here for like 3,500 years, or is it just a split second of time for them? So again, it's all about.
I think it's a split second.
Yeah, and like if you go into it, like we can go down another rabbit hole if you want, but if you start thinking about time and what time is, right? Time is a human construct for us here on Earth, and if you leave Earth, well, it's very different. So
we will get into those conversations with Mike Ricksecker at the Paracon in Thunder Bay this year.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Because like I remember Leanne and I having these conversations about watching Interstellar and going, that's based on true things. Like that one freaked me out. But anyway,
I've watched that over and over and over and over.
Yeah, that one I had to process that a few times. I'm like, and rewatch.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so when we're talking about time and age of spirits, and crossing them over and them coming back, it all feels energetically different. Like the ones that are earthbound and not crossover, for me, it feels like slogging through mud, almost like the teacher from Charlie Brown. Yes. There's like a whole, yeah, it's just a slog. It's not light and easy and fast.
Yeah. And I feel I completely agree. How I perceive and how I connect is for the spirits that are earthbound, I don't believe they fully crossed. And so they're still here. They're like, if you use a bottle analogy and we're over here and there's this bottle you got to cross through to go to the other side. I feel people get trapped in there and they're here for whatever reason. And I see them as they were in life, how they pass, not how they pass, but like kind of what they look like upon their passing. And like you said, it's heavy. They're the ones that are kind of like the hauntings doing what's the activity, the poltergeist. Like that's how I interpret that. But when they come back from the other side, when they fully crossed, they tend to look and feel so much lighter. It's like an electric, I call it a gold white kind of energy around them. And they look so much healthier. They look like they did in their prime when I can kind of get that flash image of them. So, just because your grandfather died at like, say, 97 years old, when I'm talking with him, he looks like he did when he was like 35. I know it's your grandfather, but like he's presenting as his like, his prime, like how he looked in his best years kind of thing of how he presents himself. Or I don't know if it's best years, but like those I don't know what that is, but they show themselves when they're healthy. Agreed. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%. It's the same for me.
Yeah, and it feels different, and you just know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Deb Morse is sharing time and space of relatives. Spirit has a very, very different relationship with them. Agreed.
100%. Yes. And I find that's funny because when we're trying to explain that to some people, I feel like it's a hard concept to wrap your head around. Like even, watching Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey and I'm drawing a blank on other names right now.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway, that's one. Thank you. It's like the concept of time and space, even talking about that movie with people, I think people are having a hard time wrapping their head around some of the theories about time and space. So yeah, I totally understand why this gets complicated.
Yeah. And the emotions in that movie as well too.
Oh yeah.
It's just a lot. It's a lot. But I mean, as far as, do you watch scary movies at all?
I do. I know Leanne and Kelly aren't fans. I'm not a huge super fan of scary shows. I'll watch them. But yeah, I don't know. I'm more into like the mysteries and suspense kind of like movie stuff. Interstellar was super fun though.
It was super fun. I know that Deb Morse is going to, well, she knows what I'm about to say, I'm sure, but Sixth Sense, like that's one that resonates for me as a medium, as a kid who would see things like, when I watched it, I wasn't scared when I watched it. I was like, yes. Yes.
Exactly. That movie, I remember watching that. Not really thinking it was a horror movie or like whatever, but I remember when it came on, I'm like, what is this? Like Sixth Sense? I'm like, I'll watch it. And I was like, in my don't say anything skeptic ears, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, sure. And the whole time I'm just like, oh my God. Like,
there's my life playing out.
Yeah. And then after that, I was just like, this is amazing. Hollywood made a movie about this. Like, yeah, I know. I completely agree with you on that. It was just like, holy cow. They're talking about it.
Yeah. And still not saying it out loud that it's us in it.
Exactly. Nope, that took a few more years.
Why do you want to keep watching this movie? Because I feel seen and heard.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. There was another one when we were a kid, and I remember it traumatized me. It was Leanne always jokes that Disney was so ahead of itself at the time, but you can't even find it now. It was called Watcher in the Woods. And it was like teleportation, portals, time travel, ghosts. Like, it was just like, I was terrified as a kid. I think I blocked a lot of that because Leanne was trying to remind me and she made me watch it last year. But yeah, it was so scary as a kid. Holy cow.
I have not watched that. I read a lot of Stephen King.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a lot of, like, we didn't have cable back then either. We had 3 channels because we lived in the middle of nowhere up north. That's Mel's favorite movie. That's crazy. Nice. So, okay. Deb is sharing. So Deb understands. She says, best movie on child clairvoyance ever made. I even lived in Philly when I was Cole's age. Oh my God, it was me. Mm-hmm. I agree, Deb. The same thing for me too, but The Shining did scare me. Sorry. Let's see if I can pull it back up. There we go. The Shining, more the book than the film. Agreed. Also very good Claire film. Agreed. Yeah. And when I've had my sister on the show a number of times. My sister does not want to take ownership of her intuitive abilities, doesn't want it, she's like, if she's seeing something, she's like, go see Kerrilynn. she's like not wanting it kind of thing. But she loves telling everybody the stories about, because I am almost 8 years older than her. And we had all kinds of stuff that we would see going on. Same as you guys, right? Like things right from cryptids as well too, like weird stuff from the time we were little. So she always slept with me, even if we had twin beds, or the bunk bed, she would climb in with me all the time. So we just ended up getting a queen size bed. So she was always sleeping with me, and I would read her Stephen King stories so that she would fall asleep as fast as possible. So she's like, this is why I'm ruined. You read me Pet Cemetery when I was 5.
Yeah, that one freaked me out. Yeah, I remember being young reading that one too. Those ones were, there's some good ones though.
But it all of that stuff, it just felt, even though it was scary, there was a piece of it that resonated.
Yes, and that's exactly what I would read too. And I remember, like, even anything to do with anything. I remember finding Anne Rice and like Interview with the Vampire. I'm like, vampires? Like, ooh. And then like the real, like then you have to go back and read Bram Stoker because you're like, well, what's the original vampire? So yeah, totally get it. There's something everywhere that you're like, well, what if this? What if this? What is this? Like, yeah.
And it's trying to find your community.
Yes.
Like it was okay to be the weird one because apparently there's going to be other weird people somewhere that are doing this too, right?
Yeah. Well, someone wrote the book, so someone out there has something.
I was so appreciative of Anne Rice.
Right?
Yeah.
No, those are good books.
So do people ask you about spiritual books? People ask me about spiritual books or intuitive books.
Yep.
Which to be transparent, I don't read a lot of.
Okay, fair enough.
I do read some. So here's my thing with that. Now I'm going to be like all defensive and justifying, but if when you are tapping in and doing that work all the time, you're getting that information real time.
Yes.
So there's some books that I'm very drawn to, like the Heal Your Body A through Z, like things that I may not know, that I can tap soul contracts to understand a little bit more. So there's those things. And then there's the ones that I know are very well written when I'm helping people with children who are intuitive. Yeah. Intuitive Spark by Sonny Choquette is one of them. Mm-hmm. Like, so there's that. But
yeah,
if you had a go-to book, so not necessarily that it's spiritual, recommendation for people?
Well, I think it would depend on your kind of like level of where you are with all this. I know that when I was a teenager, one of the books that kind of got me going into like, wow, this could be real, was James Van Praagh's, I cannot think of the name of it right now. I will find it for you. But James Van Praagh, and it was a short little read, and it was like, it's going to bother me, but his book, reading it, was like, wow, this is how I've kind of grown up and seen things. And he's talking about it openly and kind of giving you advice on how to tap in, which I was like, there's advice on this? Like, what?
My mom had Sylvia Browne books.
Yeah, so we had Sylvia Browne books, but James Van Praagh and John Edwards. I remember seeing John Edwards on TV and going, whoa, there's a guy on TV that talks to the dead. I'm sorry, stop talking. And I'm like focused, right? And so I would read those books, and then it kind of was, you kind of go down a rabbit hole, and then you start looking at things like, what is spirituality? And so I was reading a lot of books on like religion and faith and trying to figure out like, where did the ideas come from? And then I would go back and forth, and then all of a sudden, you'd have like Kim Rousseau, who I really respect, and her books, and her show was actually quite how I see things in some ways too. We're all very different. Like, we're all similar, but we have different, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then, there's Long Island Medium, and I've watched her, and that really was like, well, maybe you should just be a medium. And then I'm like, no, but the Ghost Hunter shows come on. And then, so right now, I think the latest one I was reading was, I'm really bad with names. The Spirit Talker, the guy coming to Thunder Bay with us. What is his name? Sean
Leonard. Sean
Leonard, thank you. And I just finished his book, which was really, really good to read. But again, it's almost like it depends on where you are, I feel. Like for me, it was like you said, today when I'm reading things, it's more about like, well, how do other people tap in? Or how do other people try this? Or like, what's a new way to try something like this? Or how do I focus on myself and like detach from this energy? So I'm always looking for something new, but James Van Praagh was really the one that kind of still resonates with me to this day, because it was the first one where I was like, wow, this is something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of his name.
I don't remember the name of it, but I know the book that you're talking about, because I think that I read it as well too.
And then there's other books like, Heaven is for Real, and those kids and the people that have had near-death experiences that, they've been dead for all medical purposes, and they've come back, and what they've experienced, having their near-death experience, that was a big fascination for me too, with consciousness. And like that neurosurgeon who wrote the book about, she was kayaking and was trapped for half an hour, and when she came back, she knew some of the things that were going to happen to her son and her family, and she was prepared for it. Like, there's got to be something there too. So it depends on where you are and what your interests are. There's so many. Like, if anybody had some, I'm sure I could put some together. Like, that might be an idea we do.
Mish has a book that a lot of people we're drawn to is the Celestine prophecy. So
Yes.
not necessarily ghost related, but
Yeah.
probably, and somewhere in time, a lot of people like that too, Mish. Somewhere in time, made in heaven. And I think it's what your intention is and what you're needing. And it comes back to trusting yourself and your intuition. You're going to be pulled to the right book for the information that you're needing if you're information seeking.
Yeah, and there's all those books like, was it Eric von Daniken? Was it Chariot of the Gods and all that? If you're into like UFOs and like ancient UFO theory and ancient alien kind of things, like, there's so many different angles of books that you can go in. Like you go in there now. Like when I was growing up, you'd go to like a bookstore and there was like nothing. And now there's a whole section on like New Age, spiritualism. Like it's like, wow, mediumship. I'm like, this is incredible.
Deb, I agree. Recall Flatliners.
Yes, I do. Julia Roberts, I think, was in that. That was one I stayed up with friends watching because I was like,
all of the plot.
Yes. Oh, it was good. Yeah, I think with near-death experiences, I think that was kind of it's been a big thing for me to kind of, I haven't researched it per se, but like reading about it and trying to understand that part of our brain and how, like, where in the brain does this all connect? You know what I mean? That's been something I've been working through for a while, like trying to figure it out.
I don't think that we get to know.
I know. I'm just so fascinated by how the brain would work and how, how can you be physically dead but come back, and other people have had no oxygen for like 5 minutes and they're brain dead, but others can be gone for half an hour and come back with vivid memories of the other side. Like it's fascinating to me.
It is fascinating, but I don't spend a lot of time deep diving into it. Like I enjoy hearing people's stories though.
Yeah.
Like, and the stories around it. I'm very fascinated about stories. Their stories.
For sure. And I think for me, it was also because, I've been teaching psychology for 25 years. So I was always getting the updated information. I'm like, ooh, that's exciting. I'd be reading through the little parts, right? Yeah. So
my daughter, when she was she's done her first year of her, oh my goodness, her PhD.
Oh, wow.
Like her first year, but taking a mental health break, right? A whole lot of schooling all at one time. So she needed a little bit of a break. But she used to say all the time, Mom, like in those classes, they talk really bad about people like you. And I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I said, it must be hard for you to navigate because she's the same. And she said, it is. It's hard to see it from a left brain perspective in what they have to offer. But I think that's changing too.
It is. And I feel in my life, I was so scared of being judged for so long with sharing this ability that, there's still a part of me that goes, oh, I shouldn't say anything. But now I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I usually just say whatever I have to say. That's fine. But I've had nothing but support overall. And I find that very, very overwhelming because I did not expect that. So when people find out, what I do now and, what we have going on, it's more curiosity as opposed to just trash talking. Like the people that are they're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. And that's their belief. Yeah. I'm not there to change their mind. I've never been there to prove to them anything. I think I've just had to kind of wrap my head around that concept a little bit more as I got older, because I thought maybe I had to prove myself. Now it's like, I don't really have to. So that's fine.
I still sometimes feel that way.
Do you? Well, that's good to hear, because there's times I'm just like, oh, I shouldn't do that. But
no, sometimes I still feel like I find, when you start getting something really, like you're hitting all the right things, and then you get peppered with the questions because they want you to go more. So there's that expectation. Exactly. So you can feel, I'm not sure if this is just that they're excited or if I'm needing to prove myself or, there's that weirdness. And I find as soon as this happens, I hold my breath and it just goes, but I'm having to tell people to stop, just stop. Yeah.
And I think it's funny too. And I don't get upset. I don't get mad about this, but there's people that will be like, and it just, I'm like, okay, I'll have to walk you through how some of this works. They're like, wow. So are there dead people standing behind me right now?
Oh, yeah.
No, that's not really how it works. Or can you just tap in right now and get this? Well, no, I'm driving. Like, what are you doing? So,
My family must have been really bothering you today because there's lots going on.
yeah. And I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah. So it's funny. It's like, and I don't get upset. I just go, wow, like there's a lot of things we can help to like teach or educate, I guess, how this kind of works for all of us. Cause it's so different for everybody, but that's not how it's ever lined up for me. Like I've never claimed to be a psychic on demand where it's like, and check, here we go. Like, it's like, you got to spend some time and feel the energy and work with what's with you and who's with you and where you are, like.
Yeah. I think for it, it's a hit and miss. Sometimes it's okay. I'm ready to go. But yeah, it's.
But it can also impact, it depends on how I'm feeling too. Like,
oh,
there are
yeah.
days where I'm just like, there is no way I'm doing anything today. Like, I'm sorry.
Not wanting to be the entertainment monkey.
Yeah. And other days I'm like, let's roll with this. Let's see where it goes. So yeah, it's an interesting world.
It is. And then Contessa's sharing, I love the Celestine Prophecy book. It changed a lot for me. That's amazing. And I feel we all get drawn to what we're needing at the time, right?
100%. Because, it's funny. I know that I've gone to the bookstore a couple times to look for something and I'm like, man, nothing's connecting with me. And like, I'll go back a week later and there's this new book. I'm like, that's what I wanted. And it's just like right there, front and center. So yeah, it's where it's supposed to be when you need it.
Always. And I think too, yeah. There's some people that have all the books, but they don't read them. So then they have what you're needing as soon as you say, kind of what you're looking for, but they have the book. There's a bookstore in Guelph. It was called Sunrise Bookstore. And I believe, well, it's no longer open. But I know that at a couple of points in time, the firefighters had to go in and go, hey, need to clean some up, because it was stacks from floor to ceiling, and then in front of the shelving, stacks.
Oh
and
my God.
I would go in and ask him, like, I went in and asked him once for Spider Robinson books. Not many people know who Spider Robinson is, but he knew exactly the aisle, the pile, the direction.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And he could send you, here's where Spider Robinson is in here. And it was just fabulous. So like, all of my kids are ferocious readers as well too, but the spiritual stuff, it's a hit and miss. I read a lot of the spiritual stuff for work, and I see the podcast as work, right? So I'm reading it to understand the guest and to be able to ask appropriate questions, and hopefully ask questions that are not regurgitating, the same stuff.
I know what. Yeah. I've been playing on the back end, for about a year and a half, 2 years, I've been playing with the idea of writing a book myself, just my thoughts and ramblings in life as Corine. I don't know who would buy it, but I've been writing here and there, and I've put it down for a while, and I've been like, okay, well, where am I going with this? So I have all these amazing ideas and thoughts and ideas and my own perspectives on things, but I'm still I'm at a writing block. I don't know what it is. So maybe I'll get to it. Maybe we'll have to talk about that later.
But people ask, did they ask you? People ask me all the time, when are you going to write your book? When are you going to write your book? And it's, I want it to be a legacy too. It needs to be able to be helping people and teaching, not just, there needs to be a purpose for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the purpose too is, for me, if I were to finish it up here, it would be to give people things to consider and things to work through as they're doing their own development and their own intuition growth.
That might answer one of the things I wrote down. I wrote down, when people look back at your, paranormal career, or maybe even just what if it's your life, because there's different aspects. As a teacher, I'm sure that you've had people come back and go, you impacted me so much. Mm-hmm. Right? So even as in our paranormal career, or as a mediumship, so what impact do you hope they say that you've made?
Great question. I think bottom line is that I help them through something, and I help them through something in a meaningful way that was impactful. And, and I feel like in teaching, I will give 110% when I'm teaching to my students, because I want them to have the passion for history, to have the passion for learning. It's difficult, but you do your best. And I think with mediumship, it's the same thing. Like, I will give 110% when I'm with someone trying to do a reading, because it's their family, it's their personal life that you're impacting. And so I think if I can do that in a purposeful and meaningful way for them, that will leave a lasting legacy to them, that will help them in their journey of grief or moving forward, or being able to just process what happened. I think that would be what I would hope would be, I guess, what they would say.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. But it's true. Like, I'm not in this for like whatever, the fame or whatever. Like, we're not in this. This is what we do. This is who we've been our whole lives. So the fact that someone was saying, hey, do you want to go to these cool places and film it? I was like, sure. But that's not, we have careers, we have stuff going on. This is our lives, and it's hopefully touching people's lives and making a meaningful, important, I don't know what I'm saying, but change for them. Yeah, that's right. It touches people.
It touches people more than you know. And that's what I hear a lot. I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
And I get uncomfortable hearing it too.
Me too. That's why I'm all kind of weird. I know.
Yeah, I get uncomfortable with it too. And I'm not sure why. Because we're just doing what we can do and what we feel is the right thing to do, and in the way that we're hoping feels true to us. So but I'm grateful. I'm very grateful to be able to be of service that way.
And I love how you say to be of service, because I think when I first heard you say that, and when I first saw you in action doing your thing, I was like, wow, like you said some lines and I was like, that is something. I'm like, mental note, I have to say that. Like, no, this is what I'm doing. Like, she's got it dialed in. That's how I wanted to say that. So yeah, I want to thank you for that too, because it did kind of open my eyes up to a few things. I was like, oh, I wasn't trying to approach that, but I was like, yep, Kerrilynn's got it.
Yeah, thank you. And and it is, we all work so differently, but it is, what is our intention and why is it that we're doing it? And I feel being transparent about our own personal journeys in our own personal healing, and not that we're having to bring that stuff up, but clear with people that we've had our own journey as well too, and in the why we approach the work the way that we do is helpful for them too.
Absolutely. And I, like you said, everybody's so different, and there's groups that they'll go in and they're there, and it's like you were saying earlier, there's different types of investigators, right? There's different types of mediums, there's different types of teachers, there's different types of everybody. And so when you're going in, in any job, in any profession, you have to figure out what you want and what works best for you. And if it doesn't, then maybe that's not your career path,
Yeah. Can you talk about taking people to Ireland?
I can. So I'm not sure. I have to check in with her, to be honest. But right now I'm signed up to work with Secret Ireland Tours, which is pretty cool because I will be a travel ambassador. And we do have, I think it's limited to 25 spots next May for 9 nights, 10 days to go around Ireland and tour all the places that, well, not all the places, some of the places that we did in our upcoming special. And I was able to hand select some of the really cool, the Pagan Fire Festival locations and certain things. And that's kind of the time that it was happening. So yeah, so all the information on that, if you want to join us, will be on our website at beyondthehaunting.ca. And there's a link there, and you can check out the tours on that with all the itinerary. We also just, I think like yesterday, we're in Haunted magazine in the UK. I wrote an article for them about our upcoming Ireland special as well. So I think that comes out September 1st, and you can pre-order that now on hauntedmag.com or hauntedmag.com. Yeah, and I think other than that, we've got a lot of stuff lined up for fall for the promo of our special, and then we'll be in Thunder Bay to see you guys in October. I'm
so excited about that.
It's going to be so much fun. The three of us are actually Yeah, it'll be very fun. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. And we're at a different location too the first night, which is and outside, which is going to be fun as well too.
Super.
Yeah.
Bonfires will be great.
And having it over 2 days, I think, is very exciting.
Yeah. And having that time to actually it'll be great. I think there's a lot more happening. There's a lot more stuff. 2 days, lots of new stuff, lots of new locations. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, agreed. And opportunities for us to engage during the 2 days with that little bit of breather as well too.
Absolutely.
It's just brilliant. I'm very grateful, Gail and Mount, for all the hard work that you guys are doing to provide that opportunity for us as presenters and for the attendees that are coming.
It's a big undertaking, so yes, thank you.
It's huge. I couldn't imagine. Stressful.
Right?
It'd be stressful. I'm just gonna put this up there. Before I forget. Because I will. Oh, we still have a little bit of time, folks. But thank you so much, Mish, for being here. I appreciate you popping in and saying hello.
We're excited. All these people.
When you are done so I just had another squirrel.
No, totally got it.
When you're done doing your intuition, whether it is doing an individual session or group, and do you want to put some boundaries on that? Because people are going to listen to this, or they're going to be watching and then be reaching out like crazy. So why don't we establish some healthy boundaries right now about where you're at with that?
Right now, I have been a little overwhelmed with the amount of people reaching out. So I will take your name for a wait list. So I am doing that right now, and I will reorganize things hopefully by the end of September, early October. I'll figure that list out. Right. I'm not doing group readings right now. It's just individual on Zoom because I'm not going to be able to go very far right now. And so email us. You can contact me. I respond directly to contact@beyondthehaunting.com or .ca. Oh my God, I should know that. Contact@beyondthehaunting.com, I'm pretty sure is what it is. And it's on our website, and you can email me and I will reach out and see what my availability is. But right now, I'm not doing anything probably till at least October.
Just wanted to establish that really quickly. You're welcome.
I'm super busy, and I've got a lot going on the next couple of weeks. So
yes. Because there's also another business for you. Like you've got lots of different hats that you wear, and
there's a couple different businesses, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So thank you for that. But
welcome. I just wanted to ask really quickly. So we have about 9 minutes. About grounding, clearing, protecting when you go in. Do you do any of those things? How do you do it? Just giving some advice to anybody who may be intuitive and starting off in that investigation journey.
Yeah, definitely. I think when anybody goes to investigate, you have to go and set your own intentions. And when you set your intentions for that evening, we always say, put your bubbles up. And that to us is grounding us. So visualize, it's like energetic, right? So you want to visualize a protective white energy bubble around you when you go in. And we always, 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 at the end of an investigation, we make it very clear. We set our intentions and we say, no one is allowed to come with us. You are not allowed to follow us. You stay here. You are not allowed to attach to us.
Yeah.
And that is how we generally do our grounding for the evening. Everybody, it's very personal what other people do. I know some people have, they wear certain crystals, or they wear certain bracelets, or they wear certain, they have their little totems or whatever they bring with them. And that's absolutely fine if that's going to keep them safe and grounded. For us, I know I can't speak to Leanne and Kelly personally because we all have different things we do all the time, but the bubbles up is the big one that we all do. And then setting our intentions. For me, I also, at the end of an evening, I don't know what it is. It's not even an evening. If I'm investigating anywhere, I almost at the end of the day have to come home and have a shower and drink lots of water. It's like I have to release whatever that was from me. So that's my thing. Yeah.
I'm the same. Even at the Dining with the Deads, or you would have watched me when I had a cloth and I would rinse my hands off in between. Like there is something about rinsing that energy off. And I find if I come home and I'm just so knackered, especially if I get home really, really late and I don't have that shower right away, the next day I feel like I've got a psychic hangover.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Completely. Yeah. So it's always been, that was my thing. And I'm just going to ask you randomly. So, I've done a bit of Reiki energy work, and I'm not saying I'm a master at all, but I've done a little bit of work with it. And when I've gone into investigations, it's almost the same thing. Like when I'm in an investigation that's getting really intense, my hands get so hot, which is very unusual because I'm usually freezing. Like freezing. Like when I'm doing an investigation and I'm connecting, I'm always freezing. Like if you ask anybody, I'm like, it's embarrassing. But there are times it gets so hot, I feel like I have to wash my hands just like yourself, because it's like the energy is so strong, you have to rinse it away. Like I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I say that dead folks are like sticky little children.
Okay.
It just feels like sticky little 5-year-olds, like it just, that energy, I think they're not that they're globbing on, but they're trying to get your attention. It's up in your space and we're feeling, and there's all of that. So that rinsing and washing your hands, I get it. Like that, it clears, and I'm ready for the next person in spirit to come through, or it helps me. And maybe it's habit now. I don't know if it's placebo, but whatever it is, it works and it helps. So I just keep running with it.
Yeah, because 99% of the time I'm freezing. Like my hands are numb. But when that happens, I'm like, what is happening? My hands are heating up, and I'm like, it's overwhelming. It's like, what is that? So I have to rinse. So wash my hands. It's like a thing.
Yeah, agreed. But having that shower at the end and clearing it is very important after an event. I bring a tuning fork sometimes too. If I'm bringing a group out, I'll have a tuning fork that, because you don't know if people have environmental sensitivities or sensitivities to smells or any of that kind of stuff. So
that's a good idea.
I want to be forked. Let's fork.
Let's go for it.
Yeah. And it's helpful. That's helpful too, I think, those sort of things. Sure. Thank you so much for being here.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
I know it was last minute and I appreciate it.
Oh, good.
I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everybody that is listening and hanging out, and all the support that I have. Thank you to Michelle Jaroche. Thank you to Joe Taldo. Thank you to the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. Next week, folks, Azria Beckham is coming on. We're going to be talking about alien DNA and generational. So my mom is actually going to be here next week, folks. So I would love it if you could pop on and help her feel comfortable, because she's already talking about it every day about how nervous she is. So please join us next week and help my mom feel welcomed and comfortable. So thank you so much, everybody. You guys have a good weekend, and we'll see you here next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See ya.